Our in-depth coverage of the tension between the U.S. and North Korea continues. The Centers for Disease Control will be meeting next Tuesday to discuss personal safety measures and response team training for a possible nuclear blast. Now, the announcement came days after President Donald Trump bragged that he had a, quote, bigger nuclear button than North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Both former Vice President Joe Biden and Admiral Mike Mullen have said they worry the U.S. has never been closer to a nuclear war with North Korea. Eyewitness News analyst Lieutenant General Reginald Centracchio joins us now in studio. Do you agree with former Vice President Biden and Admiral Mullen?
No, I don't. I understand what they're talking about. On the other hand, we were never closer to the nuclear confrontation, given what we see now, versus the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was in 1962. That is as close as we've ever come, and hopefully we never get that close again.
All right, this has been talked about now for a week, with President Trump saying, quote, my nuclear button is bigger than North Korea's. It's not as simple as it's being portrayed.
It isn't. First of all, there is no nuclear button. There's no button on the desk. There's a protocol in place right now that has been there since the nuclear program began in the United States. There's a build-up to it. There's a system. There's a protocol as to who and when and would give the final authority to launch a nuclear strike against anybody or in retaliation. The president has the ultimate responsibility, but there are steps in between before he can actually give the order to launch a nuclear strike.
Now, you were captain of the missile site in North Smithfield from, what, 1968 to 1971.
Correct.
We had 5 sites, 2 Herculean sites.
Yeah.
So they were nuclear missile sites. What kind of capabilities did they have there?
Well, they had a nuclear capability, and both North Smithfield and Bristol were Hercules sites. The capability had to do with being able to take down either an entire squadron of attacking aircraft and being able to destroy a nuclear weapon on board those aircraft. That's the big difference. You can't destroy a nuclear weapon unless you use another nuclear weapon, and that's the concept as to what the whole strategy was based on.
So you couldn't tell them, okay, launch at that point?
No, there's a procedure. You know, you go through it, there's a code, without getting into the classified aspects of it. The American people need to be absolutely confident that there is a system in place to include bringing up the defense condition and eventually the president making the order. That order goes down through the chain of command, and if it matches the codes that are given, obviously you have the authority to launch.
And obviously, General, no one wins. Thank you very much for your thoughts.